are looking at simultaneous equation, and we are using substitution method. We have 3x plus 2y equal to 14, and we have 2x plus 5 equal to 21. These are the two equations that are given. Now the first thing to do, you see that this very one asks two constant. So from here now, let's make this to be one constant. From here we have 2x. Here is 2xy. We have 2xy to be equal to 21 minus 5, right? So here will be equal to 16, right? So from here now we have our 2x now will be equal to 2xy will be equal to 16, right? Let's bring our equation together now. We bring 3x plus 2y equal to 14. Let's call this equation 1. And we have 2xy equal to 16. We call this equation 2. Remember, we are using substitution method, right? So from here now, we're using substitution method. We pick equation 1. Let's pick equation 1 to form equation 3. We have from equation 1, we have 3x plus 2y equal to 14. This is equation 1. So we want to form equation 3 now. We're using 3x now will be equal to 14. This 2y comes to the right hand side of equal sign. Will be equal to negative sign, which is minus 2y. Right. So now we can divide both sides by 3 for us to eliminate this 3 here. So from here now we have 3 divided by 3 here, divided by 3 here. So this 3 we cancel this 3. So it now remain x as our value here. We have x now be equal to 14 minus 2y over 3. So this will form equation 3 now. We will call equation 3. Now what we do now, by substitute this very value now, this equation that we have, into equation 2. Why? Because we use equation 1 to form equation 2. Now we want to substitute this value into equation 2. And from equation 2 now we have 2xy equal to 16. This is equation 2. So from here now, x here, let's put all this value there. We have 2y, we open the bracket, we have 14 minus 2y, and everything will be equal to 16. Now we have to open this bracket now. 2y multiplied by 14, we have 28y, right? Minus 2y times 2y, that is 4y squared, be equal to 16. Here will be all over 3, right? So from here now, what we can do here is that by multiply both sides, multiply left hand side by 3, multiply right hand side by 3, for us to cancel this 3 out, right? So what I'm trying to explain is that we have 28y minus 4y squared over 3, multiplying here by 3, and here we got to 16 multiplying by 3. That's what I'm trying to explain. So from here now we have here, when this happen like this, definitely here we will cancel this one here. So we now have 28y minus 4y squared will be equal to 16 multiplied by 3. Now, so from here now we have 16 multiplied by 3. So we have our 28y here minus 4y squared be equal to 16 times 28, right? So we rearrange this by saying that 28y minus 4y squared minus 48 will be equal to 0. Now this is what we call quadratic equation, but it's not well arranged. We make sure that we arrange it in this way. We have minus 4y squared plus 28, this 28y minus 48 be equal to 0. Now it's a quadratic equation, but here we need to do something that makes sure, what can we do? That this negative sign will cross out, right? So we can divide both sides, and we see that 4 is common from both sides. So we can divide through by negative 4 for us to cancel out this negative here. So divide through by negative 4. We have 4 minus 4y squared minus 4y plus 28y divided by minus 4 minus 48 divided by minus 4. So everything will be equal to 0. Now, minus 4 is the same thing as 0. So here we cross out, where you cancel, and we have your y will be equal to y squared minus, here is a positive sign, here is a negative sign, so it will become a negative, which is minus times minus, plus divided by minus to give a negative by 4, which is 7y. And here we cancel, will become a positive sign, divided by this 48 by 4 will give you 12 equal to 0. Now we have what we call quadratic equation. This quadratic equation, now we can factorize this one out. You can use factorization, you can use completing the square method, you can use formula. This three category, you can use it to solve this quadratic equation, but I would like to use factorization. Yeah, we use factorization. Now what we are going to do is that multiply the whole here with this very one. So what I'm trying to explain is that we have y squared minus 7y plus 12, that everything is 0. Now let's multiply this value here, this one with this one. So which is the product now? Be equal to 12y squared. Now we now look for two numbers that when we multiply together, it will give you this value, this 12y squared. And when you add them together, it will give you negative 7y. We see, if you look at the product of 12, we have 1 times 12. It will give you 12. But when you add 1 with 12, or you subtract 1 from 12, it cannot give you negative 7, right? So from here now, the main value is that when we multiply 3 times 4, it will give you 12, right? But when you add them together, is it going to give you 7? Yes, it will give you 7, which is 3 plus 4. It will give you 7, right? So from here now, we now replace 7 with 3 and 4, right? So from here now, you have your y squared minus, there is another thing you need to consider, the negative sign. If you have minus 3 and minus 4, when you add them together, it will become a negative sign. And when you multiply them together, it will become a positive sign, which is 12, right? So from here now, we have negative 3y and negative 4y. So you remove all this value here, remove it and replace it with the two value that you assume. So from here now, we become your 12, write your 12 back, be equal to 0. Right. So from here now, what is the common value between 2y squared minus 3y? So y is common value, right? Y squared divide by y, it will give you y, right? And minus 3y divided by y, it will give you minus 3. Right. So your negative sign here, what's the common value between these? You see that 4 is common. Write your 4 here. So from here now, 4y divided by this. We have minus 4y divided by minus 4 to give a positive, right? Which is positive y. Now we have here now, what will be the value here? We have 12 divided by negative 4. It will give you negative 3, right? So it will be equal to 0. So now from here, now we see that this value we have in this bracket is the same thing with this value we have in this bracket here. So from here, if you don't have the same value, that means you've wrong. So from here, value between them now, y minus 3 is common. We factor that out, and here now we have y here, and this one minus 4. So and everything will be equal to 0. Now I want you to remember that if you have a, b to be equal 0, definitely a will be equal to 0 and b will be equal to 0. Alright, so from here now let's apply that here. We have our y now minus 3 to be equal to 0, or y minus 4 to be equal to 0. Right, so y now will be equal to, because this negative sign, when you bring this minus 3 to the right hand side, will become a positive sign, will become 3. Now our y here as well, when you bring this very one into the right hand side, your y will be equal to 4. Right, now we have to value for y now. So how can we find the value of x? You know, the equation, there is third equations. They are said x will be equal to 14 minus 2y, right, over 3. This is the third equation that we have. Now, we substitute this value now. The value of y into this equation, right? When the equal to 3, now when y equal to 3, now what will be the value of x? X will now be 14 minus 2. Let's replace y here, which is 3 over 3, right? And here will be equal to 14 minus 2 times 3, which is 6 over 3, right? So from here now, we have our x be equal to 14 minus 6 to give you 8, right? Divide by 3. So our x now be equal to 8 over 3. That is the one value for x. Now, when the y equal to 4, right? So our x now will be equal to 14 minus 2 times 4 over 3, right? So from here now, we have here will be equal to 14 minus 2 times 4 to give you 8 over 3, right? So our x now will be equal to 14 minus 8, that is 6 over 3, and it will be equal to 2. Therefore, we have now, therefore, our x value will be equal to 2 or 8 over 3. Y will be equal to 3